My supervisor gave me one rule, and I broke it in under a year. I broke it for the stupidest reason there is, because I didn't want to leave a job half-finished. My hands hold the permanent reminder that rules almost always exist for a reason, a warmth that doesn't belong there anymore, and underneath it, if I let myself listen, something that still sounds like it's burning. This is how I found out the reason for the rule. The Old Ridge Road gate was the first thing my supervisor showed me, and the last thing he explained. It's a standard Forest Service gate. Heavy galvanized pipe, swings on a post, padlock and chain, the kind you've driven past 100 times at the end of a fire road. It sits about 6 miles up the Old Ridge Road, at the point where the county maintenance ends and the road turns to something older. Past it, the road keeps going, up the ridge, into country the district technically administers and functionally never visits. There's nothing up there worth the drive. No trailhead, no lookout, no reason. When my supervisor handed me the beat, he drove me up to the gate and he told me the one rule that came with it. Keep it closed. Check it on your patrol. If you find it open, close it. If it won't stay closed, chain it and call it in. And then he said the part I didn't understand until later. Whatever you do, don't stand there working on it after dark. If it's open at dusk, leave it open, log it, and come back in the morning. I asked him what was up the road. He said, "Nothing, you want to go find at night." And he would not say another word about it, the whole drive down. And I marked him as one of those old district hands who liked their mysteries, and I did not think about it again for most of a year. The gate stayed closed. I checked it every patrol. Padlock, chain, closed. Boring. Exactly the way the permit box is boring. Exactly the way the whole job is boring, right up until it isn't. Then, that fall, I came up the Old Ridge Road on my evening patrol, and the gate was open. Not forced, not cut. The padlock was hanging on the chain, still locked. Locked around nothing. The chain lifted clear of the gate, and the gate swung wide, standing open across the road like an arm held out. The light was going. It was that gray-gold end of a fall afternoon where you've maybe got 30 minutes before you need headlights. And I remembered the rule. I decided it didn't apply to a locked gate hanging open by itself, because that wasn't can't get it closed. That was vandalism or a mechanical failure. It was 30 minutes to dark, and I was going to close a gate. I got out. I walked up to it. I put both hands on the top rail to swing it shut. The pipe was hot. Not warm from the sun. The sun was nearly down, and the metal in the shade should have been cool. It was hot, the way a stovetop is hot. A heat that has no business in galvanized pipe at dusk in the fall. And by the time my brain finished telling me that's wrong, let go, it had already burned me. I let go and my palms came off the rail and the pain arrived a half-second late, the way deep burns do. And I stood there in the road with both hands turned up and the skin across both palms already blistering white and gray. And I thought I heard, in the instant I touched it, the sound of a large fire. The deep, soft roar of a real conflagration. Close, all around, for exactly as long as my skin was on the metal. It was gone the moment I let go. No fire, no smoke. Clean, cool evening air and an open gate and my 2 ruined hands. And past the gate, up the road, in the last of the light, something was standing. It was upright. It was the height of a tall man, and it was not shaped like one. The proportions were off, and the whole outline of it shimmered. The way a thing looks when it's radiating heat. Like when the air shimmers over the blacktop in July. It stood in the middle of the old road past the gate, and it did not come toward me. It did not need to, because the message was the gate. The gate was the hand it reached through, and I had just closed my own hands around it. I did not close the gate. I got in my truck holding the wheel with the heels of my hands because my palms wouldn't grip. I drove the 6 miles down in the dark, and I left the gate standing open behind me, exactly the way my supervisor had told me to a year before. The rule I hadn't listened to. Log it. Leave it. Come back in the morning. In the morning, the gate was closed. Padlock through the hasp, chain snug, cool, galvanized pipe. Closed the way I'd found it every patrol for a year. It was as if I'd imagined the whole thing, except my hands were wrapped in gauze at the clinic in the valley. The doctor there and asked me, carefully, what I'd grabbed, because contact burns that deep and that clean come off machinery or a hot pipe. I started looking at the district's old records. Fire logs, mostly. I'm not sure why I started there, except that I'd heard fire when I touched the gate. I wanted to know if the ground under that road had ever burned. It turns out it had. There was a fire in 1931 that ran the whole upper ridge, a bad one, the kind that made the county histories. And here's where it stops being a story about a hot gate and starts being something I've never told straight through to anyone. I found 3 documents about the 1931 fire, and they will not reconcile. The first is the district fire report, official, typed, filed the month after. It gives the acreage, the containment date, the cause listed as lightning. Clean, bureaucratic. The second is a property loss ledger, a list of homesteads and structures burned for the damage claims. It's longer than the fire report suggests it should be. And on that ledger, among the names of families and the descriptions of what they lost, is a homestead at Sadler Flat, burned to the foundation. 1931. The third is a county newspaper account from the week of the fire. The newspaper gives a containment date 11 days earlier than the district report and describes the fire as already out, fully out, cold, on a date when the official report has it still actively burning across the upper ridge. 2 records of the same fire, both official in their way, describing a blaze that was simultaneously burning and long extinguished, 11 days apart. I don't know how to make those 3 documents agree, and I've stopped trying. What I think is that the 1931 fire is still a live question in a way that fire isn't supposed to be. That something up on that ridge did not finish, or did not agree to be finished, and that the gate on the old ridge road is where the line got drawn afterward, by somebody who understood better than I did what it costs to be on the wrong side of it. Keep it closed. Don't put your hands on it. Don't work it after dark. Those aren't a crank's superstitions. They're the instructions of a person who has already been burned. My hands healed. The scars are strange. The doctor said they'd fade, and mostly they have, except across both palms there's a line where the top rail sat, a little raised, a little shiny, and on cold days I can feel it, a warmth in both palms that isn't there, the ghost of a pipe that had no reason to be hot. I put in for a transfer that winter and I got it. Somebody else has the old ridge road beat now. When I handed it off, I drove the new ranger up to the gate, same as my supervisor had done for me, and I gave her the same rule, word for word. Keep it closed. If it's open at dusk, leave it open. Log it. Come back in the morning. Don't put your hands on it. She asked me what was up the road, and I understood, finally, exactly why my supervisor answered me the way he did. Because there's no true answer that doesn't sound insane, and there's no safe answer that isn't a lie. And the rule is the only real protection you can actually hand somebody. So I told her what I'd been told. Nothing you want to go find at night.